I get it. Yeah. How's everybody doing this evening? Sunday with Sonatas. We doing some cooking today, and I figured I'd go on and drop some game on you while I'm doing it, because I really want y'all to, see what it's like, what goes on. So, I got a whole bunch of series of shit I'm gonna do. I got a lot of videos I'm gonna make. Don't even trip. Right now, one of my girls, she wanted to know about a topic of depression. So I told her, since I'm such a good man and all, I said, baby, I'll make a video for you. But of course it applies to everyone else in regards to depression. Coming from a person who's pretty much lost everybody, trust me, I understand depression. I've buried my grandmother, which is very important to me, my grandfather, my auntie, my uncle, my mother, my stepfather, a whole bunch of other motherfuckers too. Aunt Betty, Aunt Buddy, my Uncle Terry. Sometimes I think I was Samael himself, the way that I've had to deal with that. So basically what I'm saying is depression comes from a mind state. Everything starts with the mind. Remember, that's law number one. The law number one is the law of mind. The first of the Hermetic principles, or known as the laws of Tahuti. The mind is all, meaning all that exists is because of the mind. You remove the mind from anything, then nothing exists. Ergo, anything you think to achieve, you have to think it before you achieve it. It doesn't just happen. You want to go to school to be something, you have to think about it. Then you go and you continue the process of taking classes, etc. And then you go through the process of mastering your skill set and eventually becoming the person that you want to be. Now, that applies to everything, even depression. Depression ultimately is focusing more on what you don't have as opposed to what you do have. If you focus more on what you do have and then instead of what you don't have, then you would end up in a better place. Example, you live in a country where you have first world problems. You don't have third world problems. Well, what do you mean by that, Sonata? This is what I mean. You have, even in your worst situation is better than everybody's best situation in the third world. And to be honest, Americans are some ungrateful little suckerbuckers. That's what I'm gonna call you, suckerbuckers. You know, you live in a country where you have opportunity to have fresh running water, you have a shower, you have bathtubs, you have food, readily access, you get food stamps, you get cash aid, you can go get a job, you can technically go and do and be anything you want to be in this day and time and in this world. The only thing that is stopping you is you. So depression comes from you focusing on a lack of what you don't have instead of looking at what you do have. That's first. Secondly, by not having an attitude of gratitude, I'm making a burger, by the way, and I like to use the organic beef, 80%. Yeah. Oh, this is 85. Excuse me, 85% lean. Y'all know y'all can't see it. It's upside down. But if you're not learning how to be grateful for what it is that you have, you will never get more of what it is. This is the reason why you have to start your day with whatever religion it is that you believe in, because my principles and what I teach you has nothing to do with religion. I've made sure that it was applied. It can be applied to anything. So this can be applied if you're a Buddhist. This can be applied if you're a Christian. This could be applied if you're Christian. Whatever the case may be. Whatever you believe in, it doesn't matter. Okay? It really doesn't matter. All right? Because at the end of the day, we're dealing with principles and not belief in regards to that situation. So, if you wake up every day and count the small things that you're grateful for. Me personally, I like to be grateful because I come from living in a basement. I didn't have anything. I grew up in a very, very aggressive and abusive home. My grandmother was my light, Maxine Lilly. She loved me and cherished me and treated me like the God that I am. My dad was a total dick and a pedophile. He had his good moments. I won't take that from him. He did teach me about working out, and he did teach me to go to the library. That he did do, and I will give him credit for that. He taught me a lot about street shit. You know, as a young kid, matter of fact, me and my cousin used to go to this elementary school called Washington Elementary in Oakland, California. And one thing my cousin didn't know is that my dad used to put his drug money on me because he used to sling drugs. Funny how fruit don't fall far from the tree, huh? I had my little fun doing that. It is fun. I understand why people sell drugs, by the way. So, yeah, I used to go to school. We lived down on 57th and Genoa. I went to school right there. I went to a couple of schools, actually. Santa Fe. I went to Washington. And I went to Carter Middle School. So he used to put his drug money on me when I went to school. And I would go to school with like this wad. And of course, I was a pretty smart kid, so I didn't bring the wad out. I'd probably just buy me a little candy. Back then we had Street Fighter in the arcade, so I go play my little arcade game. You know, I come back home, he'd be like, how much money did you spend? I hand him the wad back. And he'd be like, you didn't spend no money. I'm like, nah, it was your money. You know, always had a good heart. But having a good heart in this world is a bad thing. I digress. Ultimately, being grateful for the things, if you can learn to be grateful when times are bad, things when they get good will be even better. The best way to get rid of depression is to get moving. I would suggest some form of a workout, yoga, walking, get some sunlight. Sunlight has a very big benefit in regards to giving you vitamin D. I also would suggest just sitting in the moment. A lot of the time people don't sit in the moment and understand that we should be grateful. That's why it's called the present, because it's a gift. The gift is sitting in the moment. The gift is sitting here right now and being okay with everything, even though everything may not be okay. If you so-called believe in what you say you believe in, then how much belief are you showing when things get tough? You crack. That's a lack of faith. That's not showing you have faith. If your faith is only as far as you asking for something, or you always requiring something from your said God, then what kind of follower are you? You never give anything in return? O ye of little faith over there. So give your faith, give your appreciation and your gratitude to the being that you believe in, whatever that is. Of course, meditation and things of that nature, ultimately, everything goes back to working on yourself. And if you're depressed, 9 times out of 10, honey, it's dealing with you. You need to step your game up. You can't, if you want to lay down in bed and cry all day about how the world doesn't give a hell about you, then by all means go do that. But you need to understand the world owes you no understanding. The world owes you nothing. Nobody owes anybody anything. Nobody. Look, my dad is one of the people who I just literally recently cut off because my mother died last year. I watched my mother die like I watched my grandfather die, and I watched my grandmother, my mother, and my grandfather. I sat by all their sides and watched them die. And when I say watch them die, I mean watch them shrivel up, stop eating, no longer be the person that they are until they shrivel up into something that no longer exists or is not even a remnants of something in which they were. Very emotional. situation. Done that. He had one mission. One of the dudes my mom dated when we was a kid was only 3 men. That was there. My dad was there. My baby sister, her daddy was there for 2 years. He had the shortest run. Guess it runs in the family. And then this dude, Emmanuel. Emmanuel was there the longest. Emmanuel was there for 14 years. Oh yeah, lost him too. We had to resuscitate. Me and my sister tried to resuscitate him after obviously he took a full pull of crack, and he died. So R.I.P. to him. He's a great man though. Look, Emmanuel never did nothing for me, but he was there for me more than my own father. Emmanuel showed me that it was his way or the highway, and what that means is when it's his way or the highway, he's the one who's creating the reality. So if you're not with my reality and you're not with what I'm creating in my reality, get the hell on. And I learned that from him, and he really solidified that for me. So I want to give a shout out. I will be doing an ancestral board, a mobile ancestral board, because I do a lot of my quote occult ritual work on the truck, as well as my cooking, my working out, everything. I'm thinking about putting that in a Patreon. I don't know. I'm gonna figure out how I want to do this, because Divine has guided me to do this, which I never even really wanted to do, but they're saying it's time, so of course I gotta listen. So anywho, you gotta be able to get rid of depression. You have to be able to sit in the moment and be grateful for what it is that you got, instead of focusing on what it is that you don't got. Because the only reason why you're depressed is because you're focused on what you don't have. You don't have any money. You don't have a car. You don't have a place to live. You don't, and then you will be like, well, how are you supposed to focus on that? Well, look, this is what you're supposed to do. Get your butt up and get to moving. Because if you get your butt up and start moving and getting active, you can be grateful for things as you're being active. I'll give you an example. You don't have a job, you're broke, you ain't got nowhere to go. Okay, so you go get a job. Now that's something to be grateful for, because you just got a job, right? Now let's start being grateful every day that you wake up and you got to go to work. Instead of going to work with that funky attitude talking about, I can't stand this job. How about we have a more positive attitude, like, thank you for at least having some work, that I can have some work for me to get some money. That's step one. Then as you do that, you'll start to move into different situations in which you'll move on and move further. Every time you add something to you besides breathing every day, because that's the number one thing you should be grateful for, that you're breathing, because you can't complain if you don't wake up. And if you want to just go die, then by all means, do your thing. I'm not the one that you can use suicide on, because I don't care, because death ain't death to me. That don't work over here. Not on my watch. Somebody call me, be like, I'm going to kill myself. I'll be like, well, have fun with that. And it's nothing personal. But death is just the beginning. That's just getting you getting started. And your dumb butt probably going to go to the light anyway and come right back, because you don't know how to get out. I get tired of people acting like they know what the heck they talking about, and they don't know what they talking about. They can't turn it off and on. You've not accumulated the habits to know what you're talking about, because your life doesn't reflect it. You are only the sum total of what it is that you've created in your life. Mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially, and energetically. Everything that you're complaining about around you is because of you. It has nothing to do with anyone else. Because I guarantee, if you follow what I'm telling you and you change you, all of the things that are bugging you will disappear. I've done it. I've helped people do it. I've been helping people do it for years. I've been doing this for a long time. I know how to do this because of trial and error. I've done the trial and error. Ain't nobody in this damn field mastered all the aspects. Not even Bobby Hemmett. No. None of them. Because if you mastered all aspects, you would be able to take your body to the next level. And to master all aspects means that you have to take your body to the next level. That's what it means. You have so manifested the mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, financial, and your energy to where you can manipulate your physical body into what it is that you want. You can be as spiritual as you want, but nigga, if you got high cholesterol, you got high cholesterol and you fat and you need to get in shape. I'm at the last end of my process. I done lost 100 pounds twice. Trial and error. This is my third time losing 100 pounds. And I'm going to do it. And you're going to see it. You're going to walk with me. This is a journey. Now I'm going to show you. And all that other deep stuff, we can talk about that in private. Because see, I ain't ending up like the rest of these cats. Y'all want to keep talking about certain stuff. And there's certain stuff that y'all don't need to be talking about. As we say, those who know don't tell. And those who tell don't know. Sometimes you need to learn how to shut up. Sometimes you don't need to be deep. And everything ain't for everybody. I'm not asking to be here for everybody, and I'm not here for everybody. I'm here for the individuals who want to master themselves. And depression is just a part of oneself. Everybody gets depressed every now and then. When you get depressed, refocus your mind on what it is that you got to be grateful for. Watch some movies that are funny. Get out and get some sun. Move around. Don't just sit in it. Okay? The only time I recommend people to sit in something is if they're sitting in an emotion due to an adverse reaction of something that is moving up. If it's moving up, then that's something different, because you might have went through some abuse or something of that nature and it's moving up and you need to get that out. That's different. We'll have another discussion on how to do that. For this right now, depression, it's literally because you're not centered in the moment and being able to be grateful for what you got. You're not grateful for what you got, so you'll never get more than that. So my thing to her, and that's my baby girl. We've been fucking, you know, she been around for about 3 years now. You know what I'm saying? But you know me, my motto, I'm not chasing no one. I'm not chasing no one, and I'm not saving no one. I'm teaching you how to save yourself. I'm not here to save you. I ain't here to, let's be very clear. I don't want none of that Messiah. I ain't here to save you. I'm going to do some really cool stuff, but nigga, don't come at me with it. I ain't here to save you. Don't come over here with that other shit. I'm teaching those who want to step into a level of Godship and step into a level of understanding. By Godship, I mean creating their own reality. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if your reality is not what you want. Are you creating it or not? I don't give a hell what rap you go to get it. Are you creating it? If you're not creating it, then you're talking about it, and talk is cheap. Are you doing what needs to be done in order for you to get to where you need to go? And that's what I do. You tell me what you want. I break down your thing and then say, this is what you need to do. If you do what said is need to do, you will hit it. That's what we do. Other than that, you're not doing it. You're wasting your time. That manifestation shit don't work, bro. Don't work. Sorry. So I just wanted to drop this video real quick. I'm about to post it up in a minute, making these burgers with my dad. Boy, I'm about to be the biggest, swollen spiritual cat in the game. Y'all ready for me? Because I'm coming. About to trim these titties up. They're almost a full peck. Look. Whoa. Y'all ready? Holla at your boy. It's not out, man. I get it. Yeah.